Welcome back to ARC PDX and today's Dollars and Cents. Spring cleaning isn't just about decluttering your home. This is also a good time to take a look at your finances. So joining us this morning is Nathan Cox, the CEO of InRoads Credit Union. Nathan, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, so let's start with how do you even go about decluttering your finances?
Well, much like when you're spring cleaning your house, you can spring clean your finances. And I think it goes by setting aside your budget. What are your needs versus your wants, and just making the priority to make sure that your needs are covered. So as an example, if you have a mortgage, I need to pay my mortgage, or I need to pay my rent, versus, traveling. Well, I'd like to take a vacation, or I'd like to go buy something else. So just prioritizing on your budget is a key step.
So what's a good first step to refresh your budget for the summer months?
I think in the summer months when the kids are out, it's a chance to do kind of a mid-year checkup. Look at where your plan is, and if you don't have a plan, start one. And it's very easy. Start down what your mandatory payment items are, things like rent, a mortgage, food, utilities, and then look at your discretionary items. Let's say like a vacation or some of the things that you're shopping. I'm a big proponent of buying things off season. So as an example, in the summertime, formal items or winter clothes, they're on sale. Do that. And now as you're getting ready for back to school in the fall, start looking at these items now. Buy things in off season, not the peak season. That saves you a lot of money.
Yeah, I love that model of thinking. That's so smart. So let's keep talking about vacations and back to school. I mean, those do cost a lot for families. So are there any other new or easy savings tips for those big ticket items?
Well, a couple things. One, if you do want a vacation, I think that's something that we all deserve. Start planning now. And for your vacation for 2026, start to set aside a little bit of money, each month. So that way you don't have to borrow to fund your vacation or use a credit card. If you are going to take a vacation this summer, consider a staycation as opposed to flying somewhere. Look at driving. And then back to my earlier comment about off season, maybe you look at destinations that might not be in the peak season just yet. May and June are what they call the shoulder months. Look at your vacation there and see if you might be able to get a good deal.
Yeah, some good advice. Okay, what about paying off debt or improving your credit? Is summertime a good time to maybe check in on this?
Yes, and it's always a good time to check in on your credit. Keep in mind that our federal regulations allow consumers to check their credit once a year free of charge, but there's also other websites and ways you can do that. I think what I would recommend is what we call the 80-10-10 rule. 80% of your income would go towards your bills, 10% of your income would go towards saving, and the other 10% would go towards donations or tithing. And if you can live off of 80% of your income, you're going to build a strong financial foundation going forward.
I got to take that advice. I'm going to work on that. Okay, so what about, in the summer, it kind of gets chaotic. We get really busy. What are some simple tools or habits that we can use to stay financially organized as we get busier in the summer?
Really just a couple things. Just focus on that budget and really think about your needs versus your wants. And sometimes it's hard because we feel like we need to treat ourselves, but you stay true to the budget now, it's really going to help you out down the road. I think also to look at your savings pattern. We recommend that you should have at least 6 months of expenses saved up. Easier said than done, but if you're not, what can you back out? And here's a good example. A lot of us have subscriptions automatically debited out of our credit card, our checking account. Review those subscriptions. So whether it be Amazon or Netflix or, magazines, whatever, take a look at those. And if you're not using those subscriptions, cancel them out. And then that's going to put money back in your account. And you can either use it to save or use it to pay down debt. But just fundamental things like that to stay on top of your budget or what we would recommend.
Wonderful. Nathan Cox, CEO of InRoads Credit Union. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we create a lot of valuable content here on ARC PDX. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your friends, point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen. That will take you right to the ARC PDX YouTube page.